Yo, welcome to Lion Podcast. Like it or not, the livest show in the O. We're ready to go. Let's act like we know. To my right, it's OGB.
Buenos dias.
Straight ahead, pretty lady.
The mic is hot.
To my left, And I'm your host, Mr. Tokes. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show, everybody. What's goody?
Sad.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
Drink
here.
I broke my dryuary.
Dryuary? No.
I tried, man. I tried. I almost made it, and then I messed it up yesterday.
That sucks.
But it was good.
Yeah.
At least you tried to do something. With
Yeah.
the pandemic and everything, I was like, fuck resolutions this year. 2020 was a resolution in its own.
So, yeah, what do you want to do this year? Not do that?
Nah, do that. That's all. As long as I don't relive that, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, if you're always seeking self-improvement, you don't need resolutions.
I like that. Seriously,
and that's why my resolutions always just work on yourself, because it's simple. It's simple, and if you fail a day, you get back on tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
It ain't just one for the year. You don't do it, you give up, fuck it.
Yeah.
Incremental changes.
And resolutions just like another anxiety right now. It's like,
No shit.
I mean, you so full of anxiety about everything else, and then you on some dryuary and you go through a tough day and.
We're going to create a lot of anxiety today, boy. We got a real ass show to get into.
Yes,
so
sir.
we're going to get in. If you don't know, the other day was Martin Luther King's 92nd birthday. So if you haven't, make sure you show some man love, pay some respects. Without him, who the fuck knows where we'd be? You know, think about that shit.
Yeah, just a forward thinker.
Yeah. Inspired or not, of course, we're going to go with the king. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for that which is right. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for justice. A man dies when he refuses to stand for that which is true. Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
That,
That's
Amen.
strong.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
that's
You know,
yeah.
So
It's that
Absolutely.
you just lost your soul.
Dead.
A coward died 1,000 deaths.
That's a man that was put in a corner that he fought with his words, man, because he knew he was nonviolent. So he said things, and I think that's why he was so well spoken, man. He said things that reached people because that was his weapons. He's like, man, I got to reach you through not cursing at you, not showing you that I'm a violent man, but I'm going to reach you through wisdom and I'm going to beat you with brilliance. And I'm gonna show like how bad you guys really are, and I'm gonna put you guys up on a pedestal. The man was incredible.
And he delivered it.
And the most powerful about it is him understanding the tools he had to fight with, and he knew violence was not a choice. It was not even a choice. It was not a choice. So it not being a choice, how do I fight when I can't fight physically?
Right.
And that's like to be able to go that place, and then not only you go to that place in yourself, but then you create a movement where you turn a country and a people, because you got to think about it. He had to change the minds of black people too.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
That's one thing, fighting that war by yourself. But now you got to calm everybody down. That's poor, and they're just freaking out. Like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna feed our kids and all this shit? And he had to constantly maintain that calm throughout the communities. And man,
he's that spoon that kept the water from overboiling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That bitch is about to over, and then he's just like.
It was like it's like if you understand civil rights history, it was like you had a lot of predecessors. You had Marcus Garvey, you had Langston Hughes, you had several different people that were very instrumental. Medgar Evers, but Martin was that one guy. He was almost like if you think about it from a sports aspect, he's like a LeBron in a way. Like LeBron speaks to everybody in a weird sort of way,
right?
Because his background,
right?
So you see, as a man, you like, okay, you can respect him because he's a real man,
right?
Take care of his family,
right?
With his kids, his wife.
Gets his sneakers from China.
He gets his sneakers. I mean, everybody does, but I mean,
yeah.
But with that being said, it's like a certain level of respect where the respect level when he talk, you listen.
Facts.
And that's on both sides.
He gives you respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
you wind up giving 10 too.
But still, bro, to know that you finna get beat in the head, know these people finna spit on you, know these people for the, do everything in their power to break your will.
It's because he already had them figured out. He was playing chess,
crazy.
man.
Exactly.
He was playing chess. He had them figured out, man. He was, and that's why they killed him.
He already played a whole scenario out in his mind and different variants of it.
Yeah,
he already knew what was going to happen before it did.
Yeah, and Martin was betrayed not only by, I would say, certain, Martin was betrayed by people around him too, because I think it's some people around him.
Oh, we're gonna
knew
get
what
into
was
that.
going on, but I mean,
Oh yeah.
Now,
what most people don't think about when they hear about MLK is his fearless leadership. Yeah, they know all that about the civil rights movement and all that stuff. He was amazing in all his brave contributions, all his brilliant speeches. But what they don't hear, let me ask you guys, what speeches are his most popular?
What speeches?
Yeah, or what speeches?
I Have a Dream.
Yeah.
Definitely up there.
Be up there. The boycott speech when he was at the bus boycott speech.
Definitely. Mountaintop.
The
The Mountaintop and I Have a Dream are the ones that I hear the most.
Yeah.
For sure.
But those are the ones you hear the most, but I don't know the name of those speeches that I'm thinking about.
There's so many.
He was brilliant, bro.
Dude, he was the
He
man.
was smooth. Even now you could turn on his stuff and just it's what we would call motivational speaker.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I want you guys to pay attention to what they didn't play. What speeches he had, because like you said, he has tons of speeches. What speeches do they not play usually? All right, well, listen to this.
So realize that the problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power. We read one day, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists. Estimated that we spend $322,000 for each enemy we kill in Vietnam, while we spend in the so-called war on poverty in America only about $53 for each person classified as poor.
This guy was not only brilliant, he was fucking courageous, dude.
Yeah.
That's brave.
But the real part of why Martin Luther King was killed, it was more when he started rallying the poor people of America,
Right.
white and black.
Right. That's kind of what he's doing when you see all that.
Yeah.
He's basically
When he started talking about wages and the amount of money they spending on war versus what they spending on you,
Right.
and that resonates with everybody.
Right.
Revealing where the money's going.
Yeah,
and then applying it to history. Like, that man was so brilliant and educated that they're like, shit, how the fuck did this guy get educated? We weren't educating these motherfuckers. Like, what happened here?
HBCUs.
These people started educating themselves, man. It's kind of like when what Jason Ralph was talking about the other day about the dude from Uganda and how he grew up in that environment, so he forced himself to get educated and do all those things. You got to figure that that's going to happen. Yeah. And when all these people in the 60s, the 60s was a crazy
But
fucking
you got
time.
to think about education. I mean, I'm just being frank. Education for African Americans was better before segregation. Because look at what it produced. You produce a Martin
I can see
Luther
that.
King. You produce Langston Hughes. You produce because it was a certain amount of pride.
Why do you think that? Because we started channeling them and teaching them our own way?
I think the education system is set up for that. I mean, it's so many studies that show why standardized testing is not it's not great for everybody, because it's all about your environment. So if the question is asked about something that never happens in your environment, how are you going to relate to that question?
Right.
So then if on purpose they giving you old books, on purpose you getting lesser quality teachers, they on purpose you get lesser of what education should be. If it was me and I'm looking at myself and I'm teaching myself, meaning before segregation,
Right.
then it's another level of pride. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then when you go to school, you don't see black teachers as
Right.
much as you see white teachers. And I'm not making it a black and white thing, trust me. But it is sort of like, it goes back to when I was talking about systematic racism.
Right.
It's kind of,
You could kind of apply that to today,
Yeah.
how they're trying to
it's still-
censor
yeah.
people, and
Yeah.
people are trying to do their own investigative journalism because
Yeah.
they're tired of the way they're being taught, and they know things that they're being taught. Seeing not just know, they've been deceptive on issues before. They've missed, and it's whack to say that, hey man, you need to get your facts from here. And that's the same kind of thing.
yeah,
And
it's the
then
same. It's a censorship of ideals, basically. It's a censorship of what you're saying, education, because when they censor that, whoever it may be, I mean, then you start dealing with, people being able to really control us.
Right.
But then on the flip side of that, with censorship, we have to watch freedom of speech, because if we can't be screaming, it's fires going on and there's no fires.
Right, but this is the
Because
thing.
the only reason why I say that is because I'm not saying anything about anybody in particular, but most of the stuff you hear coming out is people's opinion.
Right.
And it's based in zero fact.
Right, but what if one
And
person
it's given a platform.
And
Okay.
they just giving a platform. So they say stuff that
but Dr.
it
King,
resonates
but
with
Dr.
you.
King was only in the only 9% of the population in America were with him about the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
He ended up being right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But the facts were there where he was right.
9% of the nation was with him.
No, but he's saying that no one followed.
Yeah. He was the most hated man when he died. We talk about praising Martin Luther King now, but when he died, he was the most hated man in the world. But what I'm saying, I know what you're saying. I'm going back to you, O. I understand what you're saying. Oh, we should stand on our soapbox because we feel like we're right. But what Dr. King knew from, like, it was factual.
But that's what we're saying.
Yeah,
We're saying
if it's
that the
some
person
factual,
that's- I know
stand
it's
on
hard.
it.
It's
Yeah,
hard. It's
yeah.
hard.
I'm just saying, if it's
Yeah.
factual, stand on it. But like a theory that you thought up because you felt like you were right.
Don't flat earth us.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
At that fucking
hard
time,
hill
it
to
was
die on.
real brave for that man to stand up and do what he was doing. So I just got so much, respect for him. That it's incredible. Huge benchmark.
But you ever think? I'll leave this alone after this. But you ever think in his mind? I thought about this one a long time ago. I thought that if I was Dr. Martin Luther King, I think I would have had died in my own mind already. To be able to stand up and say what he said in the places he said them.
Yeah. Well, that's what giving I'm not even religious, but giving your life to Christ. I mean, if there was a man that did it, that was the guy right there.
Yeah.
That was the Black Tebow. That was the Black Tebow, dude.
He's great. You can't put Tebow
But
and
I'm
Martin
saying,
Luther King the same.
no, not in that sense. Not in well-spoken and eloquent. I'm talking about the way he lived his life.
Yeah.
He said he gave his everything, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, if
He
Tebow
committed
really...
to his belief.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
He
yeah.
knew he was
100%.
Right.
100%.
Right. So anyway, I mean, all right. So we're going to go to the cut two. We got to get on with this.
This is my thing. I'm
Leaders of the
sorry.
great society have been shot down on the battlefield of Vietnam, making the poor, white and Negro, bear the heaviest burdens both at the front and at home. The other thing I want you to understand is this, that it didn't cost the nation 1 penny to integrate lunch counters. It didn't cost the nation 1 penny to guarantee the right to vote. But now we are dealing with issues that cannot be solved without the nation spending billions of dollars and undergoing a radical redistribution of economic power. Yes, yes.
That dude had balls the size of 2 planet Earths. He did, man. He did, man.
Yeah.
He did. I can't think of anything braver than anybody that I've lived in my lifetime doing any type of thing, man. No sports dude, no nothing. The stakes were so high. The tension was so heightened back then. It's really important to understand that, man.
Plus, imagine no social media to get your voice out.
Right.
So you had to march that ass.
Right.
Yeah, you had to
You were
You had to
do that
traveling.
by foot.
And the way things are going, even if there would have been social media, they're trying to fucking censor him.
Yeah.
No,
If
still,
it's today.
but
And they
still.
censor him then.
I'm saying, though, but if it was today, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
I mean, yeah, but back then,
They're trying to censor him.
Back then, trying to censor him. What would you just say? Like, hey, he's not coming.
Where is he?
Well, back then he would have been censored because
Yeah.
only 9% of the nation was with him.
No, but I'm saying though, if it's like he's doing his is rally the right word? I don't want to put it in a negative light.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
March,
yeah,
March,
yeah.
rally,
a
all
march,
that.
right? So he's doing a
That's
march,
not
right?
bad,
But
man.
someone could just lie. Back then, it's not like you could check the schedule and be like, Marlon, hey, he ain't coming to the voice.
Yeah, he had to be
He's
there.
not. He's not actually marching. You sure? I heard through the grapevine that it's like, nah, he's really not coming. You're in your house and shit, chilling. Then next thing you know, you hear mad footsteps, like the ground shaking. He's like, these motherfuckers lied to me. I'm not even dressed properly right now.
Morning outside.
Shit, I gotta iron my tux again.
Get my suit.
Yeah,
But-
exactly. Give me my super suit.
I have a personal. I have a cousin that him and my grandfather, they both were ministers, and his grandfather was a minister up in Georgia, and Martin Luther King, Reverend Abernathy, all those guys would come over, and it's just funny how
That's
he
dope.
they say he was always just like, when he wasn't on stage, he was just a happy dude, just like always kind of joking around.
Really?
Yeah, just a good person,
Right,
man.
right.
So you don't never hear, you hear some weird stories, but you don't never hear where Martin Luther King was mean to anybody, or you know what I mean. That's
right.
Yeah.
and that's hard when you grow up and you got people people calling his house like death threats.
Dude, just listen to how he
like,
spoke.
wow.
He was totally at peace. You could hear it in his voice. The only time he raised his voice was when he was preaching.
Yeah.
And so he was really channeled that in when he was going to those fucking things.
I'm quite sure
What
he
a brilliant mind to be
chewed out some
wasted, man.
people,
Nah, what do you mean?
What a brilliant mind just to be taken from us. Imagine if we would have
take- I was
got
gonna
more
say,
time.
wasted.
no,
No.
yeah, that's what I was saying. You said wasted. I was like, what
They
do you mean?
fucking killed him.
No,
They
I know,
assassinated
I
him.
know.
I mean,
That's why I just wanted to get the
imagine
right
if
word
we would
out.
have just got more time with him, just a little, another 10 or 20 years, man.
Yeah.
Imagine if he was
know.
still alive today at 92.
I don't.
What if he ran for president in the late 80s?
Oh, yeah.
20
I don't
years
wanna
after
get,
the
I don't want to get dark.
What if
but
we weren't
yeah,
corrupt
that
and
would've
didn't kill
happened.
people?
He ain't making it like that.
Yeah.
With assassinations too,
Yeah.
dog.
They was
Well,
gonna-
we're going to get into
they
that
was
too.
gonna get him.
Well, they tried to shoot Ronald Reagan too
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
back in the 80s.
Yeah.
JFK.
JFK
Got away
got
with
it.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is
Abraham
definitely
Lincoln.
the definition of not knowing until what you got until it's all the way fucking gone. Let's check out next cut. This is good right here.
All labor has dignity. Yes. But you are doing another thing. You are reminding not only Memphis, but you are reminding the nation that it is a crime for people to live in this rich nation and receive starvation wages.
You notice how slow he said that?
Yeah, starvation wages.
Opportunity.
He said that he says it slow so you could process that shit as he speaks. It's like I want this to marinate as I'm fucking
Don't let
telling
it
you.
just go in one ear out the other.
He
Yeah,
was preaching to you.
he was a genius, man.
Yeah.
The man was a fucking genius.
That's the definition of words carrying weight.
Yeah.
Right. Corporate media
No
is like
heavier
here.
words than that.
Corporate,
And then-
corporate
It's
media
truth,
is like
man.
here.
When you hear the truth, you know it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they say starvation wages, like not just low wage. Because low wages, you could be like, yeah, my wages are low. But when you say starvation, you like, my stomach hurt right now when you say that.
Yo,
That's
Mike's right though.
Dudes.
For real, think about any idiot we have speaking for us today, anyone, just listen to the fucking difference. When smart people talk, you learn something as they're talking.
Yeah.
When dumb people talk, it just fucking is just dumb.
It's
and
just
all
noise.
we've got for the last fucking so many I can remembers is just talk, man. I'm not learning shit.
Like a good decade, probably.
You ever heard an intelligent person speak and you learn shit as they're talking? Where the fuck are those people? When Dr. King spoke, you learned shit almost with every fucking thing he was talking about. You learned as he was talking. You're like, man, give me more. Keep talking, dude. Just keep talking to me. It's food to my soul. We don't have that because they put people in office today on purpose. Those people are plants. They're supposed to be there. They're the ones that are bought and paid for. That's why the fuck we're about to get censored, because they don't want people using your own brain. They want you fucking controlled. They don't want you. Look, if there's fucking 10 people here, I want all your opinions. I don't give a fuck where you're coming from, dude, because you might be the dumbest person in the room, but you might have the right fucking answer. That's possible. Those two things could both be true.
Sling blade that shit. Ain't got no gas in it.
and not for nothing, freedom of speech, man.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to be more radical? Telling people they can't fucking talk or just letting them talk? What's going to be worse?
Telling people not especially if you're
trying to shut them down. It's going to piss people off. It's going to cause them to be radical.
Now you're getting more radicals out
Everything
of it.
we've been doing, I question nowadays, man. I'm just like, what is this going on, man? I don't understand for the life of me, except for all the wrong reasons. Why the fuck I see what I see?
I want to go on record to say Martin Luther King's podcast would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It would be the only one to beat Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
People would be like,
Legit.
he would have been on Joe Rogan smoking a joint like, brother, I don't know about these people anymore.
But Martin Luther King was a professional too.
What would the world look like if they were still alive? JFK and Martin Luther
everything
King
would have,
I don't know, but I feel like
changed.
Bernie probably would have won because he would have been having Martin Luther King in the right side of him.
Yeah.
Like, let's ride.
Bernie and the King.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Robert Reich would have set things straight.
Right.
But it was so much. It took it would have been awesome, but I don't think it would have.
I don't think they wanted them to set it straight.
But
that's why they're not here.
Look at JFK. Look at the succession of people around that time.
Right.
Like, what were they really trying to do?
Right.
What? Like, if you really think about it, what were they really trying to do?
Right. I'm just saying. Just listen to the difference.
You can't thingify anything without depersonalizing that something. If you use something as a means to an end, at that moment you make it a thing and you depersonalize it. The fact is that the Negro was a slave in this country for 244 years. That was a willful thing that was done. The Negro was brought here in chains, treated in very inhuman fashion. And this led to the thingification of the Negro. So he was not looked upon as a person. He was not looked upon as a human being with the same status and worth as other human beings. And the other thing is that human beings cannot continue to do wrong without eventually rationalizing that wrong. So slavery was justified morally, biologically, theoretically, scientifically, everything else. And it seems to me that white America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil.
Night and fucking day, the way smart people speak. You learn shit. It's just like, wow. I mean, the you can't thingify people. It depersonalizes them. Once you look at us as property, you'll never see us as anything other. It's like a broken relationship. You can't get it back. Once that person cheated and just broke you so bad, and that's a light term. That's just cheating on you. I mean, this is slavery.
But the thing about it, if Martin Luther King was here today, he would be Black Lives Matter.
Of course. I don't think there would be. I think he would have got it right by now.
No, but I'm just saying it would be the same negative, the same way you see how the negative connotation of Black Lives Matter.
It would have been a whole different scenery.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the same way it was then.
Right, but no, because he got voting rights and he was getting civil rights and he was doing things, dude. He was making it happen, and just like you said, as soon as he started talking about bringing in community money, because he knew the system, he knew he had it figured out, and they're like, this motherfucker's too smart and he's too good at fucking rallying people, and he's too right, and he's religious. He's more religious than us too. We can't beat this fucking guy.
Yeah, because he do have a wholesome.
We can't be beat.
But so you saying that you don't think that the same
it would have been a whole different world.
You don't think so? You think so?
It would have been a whole different world, dude.
Well, just think about it, because he had respect, right? That you brought up. So if the following and the message was getting across broad in a bigger stance, how it is now, I think everybody would be. I think everybody would be locked in and not trying to disrespect him.
Exactly. He would have been better. He would have been better explaining the system to people. He would have been better at getting them together and just saying, "Hey, this is why you're looking at this wrong. Hey, this is." He was an explainer. He was a genius. He could rally people, and that's what all those people had in common, man. JFK, Malcolm X, fucking Bobby Kennedy. All of them had that in common, and they're gone. All in a 5 or 6 year period, they're gone. Even Marilyn Monroe, gone.
Dang, everybody knew too much.
Pillow talk.
It's because those people, they all had that in common. They rallied people. They were for the right beliefs, and they had their head on straight, man. In ways we were blessed by having those people, man. But we're gonna get into that in a second. But listen to this. I believe it was Independent Left, but King was not just a fighter for racial justice. He also fought for economic justice and against war. As a result, he spent the last years of his life before being assassinated in 1968 clashing with not only reactionary Southern segregationists, but with the Democratic Party's elite and other civil rights leaders who viewed his turn against the Vietnam War and American economic system as dangerous and radical. So, I mean, the dude fought an uphill battle his whole fucking life, even against his own people, man.
I mean, the woman that stabbed him was a black woman when he got stabbed, and he had a weekend. The week 3 days after he got stabbed, they said if he would have sneezed one time, he would have died.
Right.
And she stabbed him, and they say I don't know if she was crazed or whatever, but he was standing outside, and she walked up on him. And it was like an inch away from his
That's
heart.
the shit he had to deal with.
Yeah.
That's the shit he had to deal with. Those were the frustrations. You get stabbed in the fucking back for doing what Dr. King does.
But I think the challenge was
the challenge,
stress. The challenge was
fucking letter opener, son.
But the challenge in that is like you got a lot of people that had resonated in, okay, this is my life. This is what I'm going to deal with.
Right.
And I'm going to just, push through it. And then now you got this person saying this stuff, so then now you dealing with the pressure of what he's saying.
Right.
Because you're not saying it, but everywhere you go, everybody looking at you like are you one of them rivals? Are you one of the rebels? Are you one of those troublemakers? And it's like, no, I'm just trying to come to work today. You know what I mean? So it
was a letter opener.
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding.
Holy shit!
A letter opener.
I thought that was one of your jokes. I was like, that. In my head, I was like, that's a funny joke.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
I was always throwing the little jab jokes, and he's got so many. And sometimes I don't even catch him till the next episode. But no, it was really a letter opener. He just pulled it up.
Letter opener.
I want to make a quick point. They called this man radical. Mm-hmm. They called this man a threat to society. They said he was dangerous, even though all he preached was nonviolent. If you never saw or listened to MLK before, no bullshit, you'd think he was Debo. You think he was fucking. You think he was Debo the way they talked about him. Yeah. But they considered this man FBI's most wanted, most dangerous, radical, all that shit for trying just to get his people rights and get more money to poor communities. Okay, so my question to you guys is: we let 60,000 people before coronavirus, approximately 60,000 people a year, die because they don't have health insurance. We are the richest country in the history of the world. We are the only industrialized country that says fuck you when you get sick without health insurance. So if you are the richest country in the history of the world and you let well over 50,000 people a year die because they don't have health insurance, is that an act of violence?
Because you offer them a chance at health insurance. The fact
is that more radical than MLK?
What? Health insurance?
No, the fact that they let 50,000 people die compared to what they called the
No,
FBI's
I mean,
most wanted.
Bro, I think in a lot of ways it's the same argument, different issue. You know what I'm saying? I really do, because it's a lot of
50,000
inalienable rights
against a guy that's never hurt nobody.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, the 50,000 people is one and the same.
It's one of the same reasons,
Yeah.
but it's 50,000 individual lives. It's 50,000 people that 50,000 more people or more knew those people that are hurt. It's 50,000 people whose lives were 50,000 families that were all changed radically, because those 50,000 people aren't there anymore. And you, having been the richest country in the history of the world, that's what.
So you saying it's criminal that they let them die?
I think that's a little extreme, man. And, and these are the same people.
But I mean,
these are the same people that called Martin Luther King radical and said, "Hey, man, you are out of line, and you see where I'm getting at?"
But then, and when you say, I understand what you're saying. So it's scary because when you hear that word radical,
pay attention.
Anytime it's like, whoa, it's like, what are we?
Right.
Why it's
an interesting.
Yeah,
vantage point.
It's like when you go from history and you hear certain things keep being said, so it's radical to, give people health care.
You think that
weird.
It's radical one way. They call out the king for everything.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI's most wanted, all of that.
Yeah.
But then you look over to this side and you see that we're capable of doing so much more than what we've been doing in all the areas that we're falling short. I mean, was Flint, Michigan radical?
Yeah.
Is that an act of violence? Flint, Michigan, they still don't have fucking water, still dying up there.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think.
But no, who pays for that? The government or the corporation, or whoever?
The people pay.
The richest country in the history of the world.
Nah, but my point is that the people pay.
Yeah,
because it still hasn't been taken care of.
Right. It's still. They have documentaries on it. That shit's been going on forever now.
10 years.
A decade. Wow.
So when you ask me when's the last time someone said something smart and you would listen, I answered a decade in this same episode. Because it was like you're saying the same shit.
And we keep running into this wall for some reason.
It's crazy when you look at the things with perspective, and they're trying to take shows like us off the fucking. They're trying to take us down, man. Shows like us, they're calling us radical because we don't know what. I'm not saying they're directly calling us radical, but generally shows like ours that share different points of views. If I just mention, see, Mike has a different point of view than I do on a lot of things.
Yeah, we all.
But if I start saying, hey, I think we should be in less wars, or what I just said about them being radical for letting health insurance people go, like they don't want that talk anymore. They don't want those out there. They don't want you thinking like that. They want to give you their own perspective on shit.
It's radical to their way of life. Yeah. It's going to change their way of life in their pocket.
But I really, I mean,
exactly.
I understand why we all
exactly.
I can understand why we all nervous about censorship with the current climate of what we're seeing around us and in America right now. But I do think that history has a way of correcting itself.
What people are you scared of, Clemmy? Around you today, when you leave today and you go home, when are you gonna be like, oh shit, I gotta look out at this point, or something like that?
I to be honest, I'm not really afraid.
And right now, there's a survey that came out that 54% of Americans are more afraid of other Americans than they are the coronavirus. The coronavirus is like 24%, and like the economic system in our situation was like 12%. And it's like that's how skewed people's views are.
No, because I mean, I look at it like this. I try to go out my way to display diplomacy at all times. So.
Right.
I mean, when I'm in situations,
But don't you think the best way of doing that would be holding them accountable to it and just saying, hey, man, freedom of speech is freedom. You can't fight fascism with fascism. You can't just say you can't.
But at the same time, that's why I'm saying, but we still, even with freedom of speech, we can't let people get on get like stand in a crowded building.
But that's why we have a law. That's why we have the police. Right. That's why you have the court of law. If somebody does that, you take them to the court and you press charges and that you deal with that person individually. Yeah. That's a system. That's why we have that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
What they're doing is radical. They're trying to shut regular shows down. I preach peace here.
But the thing,
we preach unity.
But what I'm saying is, until it's like, I guess what I'm really trying to say, history has a way of correcting itself. Yes, and I'm saying that life has a way of balancing out itself. Mm-hmm. So right now we're really realizing that our voices we've already been censored, bro.
Right. They use algorithms and all that shit. Bro, we're going to get into this in the next one.
But I'm just saying, when we scream, we're like, bro, that's been happening.
Right.
So it's like, at this point, it's nothing because, like, if real talk, if we was to say something that didn't follow the guidelines of YouTube, which we don't say, we don't, we go out our way not to say anything like that on purpose.
Right.
I mean, they would flag the show.
I tend less to.
Yeah, but they'll flag the show and take it off the platform, right?
Yeah.
If you do that on any platform, because they have that right. So the power comes in when you have everybody in the world on your platform. And that's why you have that much power.
Right.
Because your platform really is a big database.
You just heard what I said about 60,000 or whatever. It's way more than that, by the way. That was pre-coronavirus numbers. You heard about how dismissive they are. So what makes you think that they're trying to censor people to make them safer, rather than it be censor people because these podcasts are actually dropping some truth bombs and they're leaving us and we're getting fucking left and we have to draw them back in, man.
They're trying to protect us from the truth.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
I'm not.
But I'm with you. There's a balance to everything.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, and I guess, and not even time, I'm just saying,
well, time heals all, and people figure things out in time.
And on what we all have to realize that no matter what, these platforms are privately owned companies, and a part of their freedom of speech is them being able to make their rules on what can go on their platform.
I see that.
You see what I'm saying? So,
but who dictates that? Who dictates the rules?
They do because it's their platform.
But who's they? Like that's what
the owner of. So
the problem is cable companies.
Yeah. So
are paid for. Then make that. Then go to the 1996 Telecommunications Act. Take that shit out because you can't pay cable companies that are paying these people. As long as money is involved.
Yeah.
There is no resolution, dude.
I totally agree with that.
There's no solution.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it's still a part of capitalism. It's still a part of what we call free market, which is a part of free speech.
Correct.
Is a part of them owning their platform and making rules. And when I say they, I'm talking about the owners of platforms. Right. So when Amazon, recently, I didn't know Amazon owned that much space where they can support platforms.
You know what else people don't know? You know what else people don't know?
Was that deep
I told this to my family the other day. They were mind blown. We got to go to break, but Amazon, Bezos has a $600 million deal with the CIA. Yeah. And he owns the Washington Post. Yeah. And it's all kinds of shit like that, man.
It's
all incestuous.
So by him, but see, that's the mind trick we go through. It's really we're really screaming in the wind because it's not censorship. It's you're on their platform.
No, I just made a point of the monopolies.
That's
just a monopoly point,
but I'm just saying. So he controls.
My point is strictly monopoly and the money thing.
He's controlling the speech that's coming out of the Washington Post. Then you got Murdoch controlling the speech coming out of Fox. You got the people at Disney on the streets control the speech coming out of MSNBC. So you got a certain number of people controlling the speech, right? So if they've been controlling the speech since Disney, bro, we've been censored.
Well, that's
yeah. So but my point is, we're screaming about.
So you're saying that just give them full control, then just go willingly.
I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, what you have to get.
It sounded like you said. So what's the difference anyway?
No, what I'm saying is you have to get that ideal out anyways. But I'm just giving you the facts. Like, it's happened.
Look, if we're in a serious situation, and it's just us fucking right now. Why were you gonna say, dude, I only want to hear from Mike and Corey. I don't want to fucking hear from Omar. Why wouldn't you want to fucking hear from everybody, dude?
I'm not saying me.
Oh.
I'm just
saying hypothetically, why don't they? That makes no sense.
You know why they don't want to hear? Because and sometimes when they create violence, it's an issue. And other chances when it don't make money for them.
It's a court issue.
It's an issue.
It's a court issue.
Huh?
It's a court issue. You go single them out and you fucking bring them to court.
But here the problem with that is this. You're still on a privately owned platform and they still make their own. So you can't, the government, this is the problem with that.
Well, let's get back to this when we come back from break. We got to go to break.
Love y'all.
They finally adjusted, and I think white people all over this country. Once the nation makes it clear that in schools, in housing, we've got to learn to live together as brothers. I think the biggest problem now is that we got our gains over the last 12 years at bargain rate, so to speak. It didn't cost the nation anything. In fact, it helped the economic side of the nation to integrate lunch counters and public accommodations. It didn't cost the nation anything.
Definitely. Good call, Mike. Fucking love you guys.
Please subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Line Podcast. How's everybody feeling out there?
Pretty good.
Yes. Pretty good is pretty good today, man.
Yeah.
That's like excellent today.
I liked that last one, bro. I felt that.
If you're pretty good today, you're excellent.
You're excellent. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stop saying I'm pretty good. I'm gonna go with excellent.
Yeah, you might as well upgrade it. Whatever you are,
I'm just excellent, bro.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I saw that movie Idiocracy.
You did?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah.
Dude, you told me to watch that shit. Mike was like, dude, you have to watch that shit.
Yeah, it is.
It's so fucking weird. So, okay. All right.
True.
We was almost there.
So,
yeah. Came real close. We still going.
I know,
we ain't stopped yet. We just slowed down.
Please,
Can't
Jesus.
stop.
We pump the brakes here for a minute.
Please,
but
Jesus.
they're gonna downshift and hit the accelerator.
Yes,
Watch.
yes. Whoa.
all right. So, they assassinated MLK in 1968. But in 1963, JFK was assassinated. Now, that's two very, very powerful, and powerful in every sense of the word powerful, people. MLK and JFK were two of the most influential figures of all time, dude, in American history. Like, it's not even debatable, right? You can't overstate that. MLK was assassinated in April 1968. Also 1968, Robert Kennedy. Okay, Robert Kennedy was assassinated 2 months after MLK was assassinated. 2 months after MLK was assassinated. That's huge. If there's some benchmark shit, that's it too. Now let's pause right there. What's the plot, right? Because JFK admitted that him and the CIA had problems.
Yeah.
And that was documented. That was out. That's a benchmark.
Yeah.
That had something. Even Bobby Kennedy was going through it.
Because you got to think that was probably the first time that I don't know if this, but publicly like exposed somebody.
It was the only time, if you think about it.
Yeah, expose somebody's
only
like
fucking
indiscretions. Like if they had somebody walking through the White House, like they let all of it out. That's how Marilyn Monroe became a front page story.
And remember when Kevin Shipp, the CIA whistleblower, told us that there's a reason CIA never gets brought up in nothing.
Yeah,
there's a reason. That was the only time.
No, because I mean
the Kennedys.
Yeah,
that's why they fucking hated him so bad. Like how dare the audacity, y'all motherfuckers? We protect this country, and you're gonna come at us?
Yeah, that part.
I guarantee.
And I can understand how they can feel that way.
Oh man, because he called the Pentagon and the CIA. He called them like what was the word he used? Fuck, I just read it.
Yeah,
I didn't write it down.
But he had a contentious relationship with
It's like
people.
weaklings or something like that. He called them weaklings or something because they were like anyway. They had a real beef. It was real, right? So CIA ends up killing JFK. CIA ends up
allegedly, bro. You can't just
allegedly,
bro.
Kills MLK.
Make sure he's out here in the streets.
Well, they really killed MLK.
Hey, bro, yeah.
They killed MLK.
Allegedly, bro.
Allegedly, they did.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Allegedly,
Then,
they did.
then the Robert Kennedy got assassinated suggests even more suspicious activity.
Yeah.
Because that was right there 2 months after fucking Dr.
It's like,
King.
okay, but all of them were like, if you think about it, all of them were sending a message because they were all very public.
That's where I'm getting at with this. That is exactly where I'm going with this.
That's messed up.
And especially because they all stood for the same principles. And they all had this unique ability to rally motherfuckers, just like his brother and the King did, right?
Yeah.
Bobby did.
Yeah.
Dude. So,
But Bobby and the King had a lot of fights.
And Bobby and the King. Well, Bobby was a real motherfucker.
Yeah.
Bobby was like a sheriff, dude. He'll call you out on your shit.
Yeah.
Those kind of people don't last.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay,
all
so let's say
peace,
this. Let's
like,
say they were
you know.
honest people.
Yeah, they all were honest. Yeah.
Let's say they were brutally honest
yeah,
people
yeah.
with integrity that you couldn't be broken.
Yeah.
All right.
Couldn't be bought.
Right. Couldn't be bought.
Because Martin's saying now, and they saying let's do it incrementally. He's like, no, now, and they saying we can't just we'll rip the country apart. Now let's do piece by piece, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so we got the
So we
allegedly
working, but the fact that they're having this conversation was radical.
right. Okay, so we got allegedly on the JFK MLK.
Yeah.
So this Bobby Kennedy thing. Now, this guy named Sirhan that shot Bobby Kennedy, right? He doesn't recall shooting Bobby at all. And the autopsy basically report suggests it was a lone gunman. It wasn't a lone gunman because it just couldn't work, but we'll get to that. In fact, it suggests more than that. Paul Schrade was the one, was the first to take gunfire. He was a supporter of Bobby Kennedy's, and that you're about to hear him in this soundbite.
He said, and he should be dead.
Some believe Sirhan wasn't alone. Schrade is one of them.
The evidence now is so strong that we can say that Sirhan couldn't and didn't shoot Robert Kennedy.
But investigators and the DA's office for decades have stood firm. It was one man, Sirhan. So they were definitely sensing fuckery right there, right?
Yeah.
was showing me some fucking shit.
Sorry.
Wow.
But so nevertheless, crazy shit was going on.
At his parole hearing in March 2011, Sirhan's account of events was generally quite clear until the actual moment of the shooting.
This little guy does not look like a murderer.
I remember wanting to drink and to get some coffee because I just wanted to make sure that when I drove home that there's no chance that I could.
So remember that part of it?
Yes, I remember.
You remember wanting to get some coffee?
2011 interview.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So what do you remember now?
Thanks for the context.
I remember being tackled by the people there, and they almost choked me to death. Believe it or not, and I wish they had, because this thing would have.
This is his parole, another hearing. He's trying to get out.
Down. I didn't know what really transpired because they had me on the table, and I think that I came to or began to feel to sense what was going on.
So what would you sense
when they were choking?
Yeah.
You know, and they were saying, "Don't kill him" or something like that.
So you heard that,
and I remember some words like that.
Okay. And what did you think had happened?
I didn't know what the hell happened.
This guy seems like the furthest thing from aggressive.
He legitimately did not remember those critical moments.
In 2011, Sirhan's defense team consulted hypnosis expert Dr. Daniel P. Brown to test the theory
Keep that in mind.
he may have been hypnotized to carry out the Kennedy assassination.
Alleged.
We had Dr. Brown from Harvard spend over 70 hours with Sirhan. He is one of the world's leading experts on mind control and conditioning. And Dan Brown, after all this time with Sirhan, is of the mind that he was clearly programmed.
Whoa.
Clearly programmed. And he was a #1 hypnosis guy to fucking check him out. So what I'm saying.
That's scary, yo.
MK Ultra, anybody? Fucking K Ultra, remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? CIA? Yeah. That's real. That's a benchmark. That's some real shit. So, allegedly, whatever the fuck you want to say.
That was like 10 years into it, allegedly.
And that was only 10 years into it.
Allegedly.
So, think about this.
That's the title of this show.
Think about this, though. This man doesn't even remember doing what he did. And they found out the autopsy. It's virtually impossible that he was a lone gunman in this shooting because there was 4 bullets at entry wounds through the man's back. Huh? He was standing at his front.
Right.
So how the fuck? And the guy that got shot in the head, Paul Schrade, said, hey, man, that's impossible for it to happen. I should preference this by saying this. While Bobby Kennedy is exiting, right, he suddenly gets redirected to go through the kitchen. All right, on his way after the speech. So this is where it gets really fishy, okay? So he's about to go through. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows whose idea it was. And the lady is about to tell you what happens.
How was Sirhan able to get into the pantry with a gun? That's an excellent question. Because there were 2 ace guards, one at each end, who were supposed to be making sure that only people who were credentialed with Kennedy credentials were allowed into the kitchen. So how did Sirhan get past them? Well, you know, the obvious answer is maybe he had helpers. Maybe there was somebody who took him in and said, he's with me. Maybe it was somebody with a PT 109 pin.
Maybe he got in luckily, allegedly, you know what I mean? But the fact is, it's weird. It's fucking weird.
So they was walking him out the front door. Then they redirect him to go through the kitchen.
Right.
And then the shots.
But they don't know who did it. They don't know whose idea it was to redirect him through the kitchen. And this is what they really don't know. How the fuck did Sirhan know to be there? Because that's where the shooting happened. And why doesn't this motherfucker ever recall this shit? And he did an interview like after that. I think it was like 2016, and you could tell, like in the interview, he was smiling the whole time. And you could tell they told this motherfucker, "We're gonna give you parole, but you just got to admit that you shot this motherfucker because we don't want to hear about this shit anymore." Allegedly, so you could tell through the interview because he's smiling the whole time. He's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I did it." But for 50 years, he was saying he never did it, and he did just every time. He's like, "I don't know what to tell you. I did when it happened. I just remember waking up when they were saying good, they tackled him." That's the same story. Wow. And they say the people who are telling the truth will tell the same story. If they're lying, their story will change. They said his story was always the same throughout time until that fucking interview. So yeah, so anybody that takes that interview.
So once he admitted it, then he got parole?
Yeah, man. And no, they still didn't give him parole. They put his ass back in.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, he's still, man, it's fucking crazy. But MK Ultra was real and was a CIA operation, and it was about mind control. So this Robert Kennedy Jr., this is him talking about his father's conflict with the CIA.
And particularly the 40-year tension between my family and the CIA.
The Kennedy feud with the CIA was multi-generational. The family patriarch Joseph Kennedy sat on a commission that called for an end to the CIA's parliamentary operations, and his sons John and Robert Kennedy both railed against the CIA's role in Vietnam.
And actually, my father, a week before he was killed, that the first thing he was going to do was to remove the clandestine services from the CIA and make the CIA what it was supposed to be, which was an intelligence gathering organization.
It's almost if you have set up and detailed an enemies list for those who may have had it in for your family.
There was a lot of enemies that my father made, and they weren't all CIA.
Is that where the seeds of doubt were planted, that perhaps your father wasn't killed by the person we say he was killed by?
I never suspected at any level that anybody other than Sirhan had killed my father until maybe 3 years ago.
What changed?
Paul Schrade.
Paul Schrade was a close friend of Robert Kennedy and was with the candidate the night he was shot. It was Schrade who took Sirhan's first bullet, and it is Schrade who has insisted for decades that Sirhan could not have acted alone. He's now raised serious questions in Robert Kennedy Jr.'s mind as well.
Anybody who reads the autopsy report is, it's hard to believe that Sirhan shot my dad. that his bullets hit my dad, because Sirhan was always in front of my father, and yet all the 4 shots that hit my father came from behind him.
That leads you to conclude what?
Well, I don't have any conclusion. You know, I mean, my opinion is really irrelevant. What's important is what the facts say, what the autopsy says, what the ballistic evidence, and what the eyewitnesses said.
So you want it?
Allegedly, Bobby. or Junior. Well,
wow.
I mean, dude, you heard it right there. So, and Paul was at the fucking thing. He got shot. He was there. So you trust the people that were there, man.
Yeah.
You trust the people that were standing right next to the guy that got shot to tell you who the fuck was shooting. I mean, especially when he got shot too.
But we still don't know who shot.
Yeah, we don't, do we? No. Yeah, it's funny how that works. We never find out sometimes.
Yeah.
JFK,
never will.
MLK,
Never will.
this one.
Never will.
Yeah. And
there's always a bunch of fishy details around it.
And they were all for the same principles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same thing.
And we were going through capitalism phase.
It's changed. It was
and
changed.
think about what came next. Bobby Kennedy was going to be president. A lot of people said that he was going to beat Nixon.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot of people thought he was going to beat Nixon.
Yeah, no doubt. That was
and if you go back to the unconditional empathy episode and you apply that to that, and you see what they're with the Southern strategy and all that stuff, and going into all that, the Reagan and then George H. and all that, then you see what they were trying to do, the privatized prisons and all that stuff. You think that shit would have flew if they would have had them in?
Oh no,
no, they had business to
course.
do, right? Allegedly, but they had, but there's a lot of things that you have to fucking think about, man, before you just go out there and just, donate your brain to these people, man. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I like that.
But we got one more that nobody really talks about.
Mm-hmm.
We got one that happened after MLK. They had to take this dude out. This dude was fire.
Uh-huh.
This dude was MLK without the tie, with cuss words, and he was proudly packing. But he had speech like MLK.
Who we talking about, bro?
We talk about Fred motherfucking Hampton.
Yeah, Fred Hampton was a bad boy.
Now, he was a revolutionary, and I ain't trying to do no armed revolutions or nothing like that. But, but at the time, I understand where he was coming from, because he had everything against him, man. The idea around the Black Panthers was they're bad people, they're an armed militia of black people, that they're dangerous. And that was the corporate media.
They started the breakfast program.
That's what I'm going to get to that. Hell yeah, they did, bro. That's
hey, bro, you talking to a real one when it comes to that.
That's right. So it says here, the former head of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, Fred is remembered primarily for his skills as an organizer. Who coined the phrase Rainbow Coalition to describe his deft assemblage of a broad array of politicized actors, including Confederate flag-wearing, working-class whites, Latino gangbangers, black professionals, wealthy white college students, auto workers. You get the point. Mm-hmm. So this guy was even reaching out to racist people to find common ground with these people. I mean, he was out there. He was talking to everybody because he knew they could relate through struggle. And he was like, dude, Black Panthers ain't racist, man. Racist. He was the one. They killed him fast. This guy was only 21 years old. 21 years old. They killed him because he came out and he pointed. He was like MLK. He would call them out. He said, yo, racism is just a byproduct of capitalism. And when he said that, it's like heads came off, because they're like, holy shit, this guy, when you could break something down that's very complex into simple terms like that and educate people based off of it and get them going on one direction and say, this is where we're going to be. These people are timeless. They're like the timeless music that applies to today. You play them and it still applies to what's going on. It's timeless. They spoke and it still applies. It resonates till today. It's like, holy shit, this guy had it all figured out. So it says, under Fred, Dave Hilliard, the former head of the National Black Panther Party, Chicago was the most active and exemplary chapter in all the country. This young man was magnetic. He was born for leadership. It says here, Chicago in the 1960s was a brutal place for poor people. Black, brown, and white people all dealt with extreme poverty, employment, police, violence, substandard housing, inadequate schools, and lack of social services. So like you said, Clemmy, ethnic and racial groups each created, right? These people got together, so they each created their own social service and activist networks to combat every kind of oppression, including your breakfast program that you're speaking about that Fred Hampton was running.
Yeah.
So these dudes went back into their communities because the government wasn't helping them out enough. They were poor, and they were actually created these programs to feed and help their people and protect their people and all kinds of shit. Man.
So they were creating unity, taking the violence out.
He was 21 years old, man. He was 21. How come we don't hear that? Is that not dope sauce or what? So yeah, Fred started this program called the Free Breakfast Program. Yo, to watch those kids in the video, you pull up the video that they got of this bread. They shows them feeding these kids, and they walk in. These kids walk in. They say, "Yo, eat as much breakfast as you want." They got cereal. They're cooking them eggs and all kinds of stuff. And these kids' faces, bro, you will cry if you see them, man. And they're just so happy, bro. They just light up with smiles, man. And it's just like, wow, like so he's a radical man too.
Right? Yeah, that's radical.
Yeah. So. Just making that point, man. Fred was
that's very radical, yo. You feeding people for free?
It's and
for free,
and they had
that's radical.
And he says and he willingly admits he's like, hell yeah, I've had to pull my gun on cops because they're coming at me. They're kicking down the doors of our Black Panther places and they're raiding the fuck out, beating the shit out of my people. He goes, so yeah, I'm teaching them to get a gun and protect yourself.
See,
that's what he was preaching. So anyway, he wasn't saying it that polite.
No, but he was real. Yeah, no, he was
this
real.
Was a
he
fucking
was very
man.
militant
and
real.
And he was influential as shit. The guy spoke and it got through.
He was only 21 and something he started still is with us today.
Dude, and then when you hear this guy speak and how he knows about all the different countries and all the different oppressions, and he's like, hey, we're with you. I'll teach you how to protect yourself. Just be with us, whatever. We're all together. So through the same struggle. In his short time as a Black Panther leader, Fred Hampton was murdered at 21. Fred Hampton wanted to advance the group's goals by forming a rainbow coalition of working class and poor people of all races. So how was Fred murdered? At around 5 a.m. on December 4th, 1969, 14 police officers raided Hampton's apartment, which was a known Illinois Black Panther Party stronghold in Chicago's West Side, according to the Chicago Tribune. The gunfire lasted 7 minutes. Hampton and Clark were shot dead while sleeping. Want to guess how many shots each party fired between the two?
How many?
Well, the Black Panthers got off one shot, and the other was estimated between 80 to 100 shots. Dang. So there's no doubt what that was about. Fred Hampton's pregnant wife was also survived. Talk about divine intervention. his pregnant wife fucking survived that, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Pulp Fiction on steroids right there. Wow. Think about what he'd be talking about. What was his name in the movie?
Yeah.
My bad, man.
Freak Occurrence.
Freak Occurrence. That's it. But I mean, geez, man. 80 to 100 shots, man. And yeah, man.
21 years old.
And all Fred Hampton was doing was whatever he could to help people in need, man. He wasn't a bad person. So he educated the fuck out of me just out of the speeches I heard from him. I'm like, wow, man, that's
and
interesting.
The scary thing about it, a lot of stuff what he was saying and what they were saying is a lot of stuff that, I mean, in some ways subtle, and some ways, in some other ways, in your face, we still are dealing with those issues. And sometimes it makes you wonder that if we can get past those key core fundamental issues, we could really be like, close to a great utopia, as close as you can get to it.
Right. You know what it makes me wonder? It makes me wonder if there's alternate goals for these people, because any evil or good and evil idea is multifaceted. Any good idea is multifaceted. Any good evil idea, same thing. So if you really could see into the future, and these people were trying to preach back then what they were seeing in the future and saying, hey man, we got to be looking out for this. We understand. They were like, we're not against war, man. We're just saying, you got to be careful ramping up all this shit to the point where it's all so big that you can't come back. It's like, I think Fred Hampton said that he's like, you can't tell a capitalist to buy something last week and burn it down this week. They ain't gonna make them no money.
Right.
Once you're in, and that's the problem. It's just gets bigger and bigger.
And that's
bigger.
really what, and really that concept is
And
why
the wealth consolidates into few hands.
Yeah.
So, and then people
how
go
we get
starving.
to
So
this.
exactly. So, I mean, and this is the other thing.
So,
This is a good idea. MLK had the Poor People's Campaign. We need to rebirth that shit, man. 80% of America can't go without a paycheck. Checkmate. That's what you do. And then you force all these people to consider these things now. You just took your power back right there. I think that's what they're finding out about shows like us, and they're saying, man, these people are getting too smart. They keep fucking putting their brains into this, and they're gonna put us in a corner that we have no reaction.
They're busted.
Yeah, I think that's
and then we got to go back to fighting about true shit that we got to do. We got to go back to fighting each other again, Republicans and Democrats.
But that's on the whole, I think that's like really the negative part of social media, because like no matter what, everybody got their own ideas, and everybody got a platform to speak their ideas.
Right, but do we have our own ideas, or how many of those ideas are so blasphemy that you can't really consider a lot of those ideas? And then how many of those ideas are actually within the threshold of what's going on to where you could just listen to them for 5 minutes and say, you know what, these guys know what they're talking about. I'm going to stick around for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
Yeah, it's a difference in that. But what I'm saying is that community of ideas is still going on. And that's a part of the censorship. But then
I want to hear those ideas, man. Even if they suck, even if the person next to me, if Mike says, "Hey, dude, you don't want to watch this fucking movie," maybe I do.
Yeah.
Maybe that movie is decent,
but
to me, and maybe I could find a piece of truth in that movie that Mike couldn't find, and we could help each other. And I say, "Hey, Mike, did you catch that?" And he's like, "You know what? I didn't, dude." That's a community.
But I don't think they have a problem with that.
I think that it's the money.
Yeah,
they don't have a problem with us doing. They have a problem with us educating ourselves and getting better at what we're doing. But we're going to talk about that when we get back. Welcome back, Lion Podcast. The vibes are so fresh. It's good doing these shows. I was busy all week, so we had to do this Saturday morning. So it's gonna get out a little bit late to you. So hopefully you listen to it before, or we get it popped up before the games go on. We'll see, because we're gonna talk about the games in a little bit. But I want to talk about censorship for just a little bit, for a second, and just say I want to go through you guys and see. First of all, why all of a sudden are half the left all pushing for tech censorship? That's the first thing that blows my mind. But I want to know what
control the tech,
right? But what's your feelings on it?
Who, mine?
Any of y'all, whoever wants to take the floor.
No, I feel like it's like
this is a big deal, man.
No, but I feel like
my feelings are up right now, dude. My defenses are.
You asked him, man.
Yeah, listen. Give me your answer, but listen.
I didn't like his energy. I didn't like.
Yeah, you didn't like where I was going with that.
It's too laid back. Too laid back for me, man.
No, real talk. I just feel like right now it's like he who owns the goal make the rules, and a lot of. If you think about economics, the last economic barons were more oil guys. So then our politics and everything lean more, that way. And I'm thinking that in this new economy, the tech guys are more liberal guys. So I think a part of that is that's why you're seeing all this, push
monopolies too.
Yeah, but monopolies always go on. That's always been the case.
But that's the problem, because that's where the money's lies, and that's why they get away with what they do. That's control. Money is control, man. And then once you got control, then you got fear tactics you could put on people.
If anybody's wanting censorship, okay, they got shit to hide.
Yeah,
they're guilty. Some shit.
I agree. That's simple.
Why?
Put. Because why else would you want to censor people? Do you really think that people are capable of causing that much harm? Like the Capitol. Look how they locked it down after that. Do you think that anybody's even going within 10 miles of the Capitol? They got Washington on lockdown.
A little censorship on it.
But
exactly.
The problem is this: what led to the Capitol was that it was no censorship on certain talk.
You don't think they had it, dude? They had tweets that were out there saying, "Hey, Trump's going. We're going to the thing. It's going to be wild."
So
I mean, even Trump was saying it was a big party. You said it yourself. It was a pep rally set up. It just looked weird the way the whole thing played out.
No, what I'm saying is, but that's what all of that rhetoric led to that.
Right.
So you think those people, if they were just there just to support him, just being okay, you leaving here, that's like the last hurrah pep rally. But those people were like almost.
You know how much security they have in Washington.
So you're saying that needed to be censored because of what happened?
I don't say that.
No, I'm saying these are just weak-minded fucks that just.
It was only it was only a couple hundred too. Well, there's thousands and thousands of people out there. Don't blame all them.
That's minimizing, bro. That's minimizing. Because the sad part about it, you know why all of this is minimizing? Because if those people would
didn't minimize it.
No, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying what the problem, and I'm not saying they should have been censored.
I think that we're already getting spied on anyway. What is censorship gonna do?
What I'm saying is, if we would, if
Snowden proved that.
somebody could,
spying's okay.
If somebody could have,
for those purposes,
tone down that talk, so that those people wouldn't have went in that Capitol, because we all saying. The minimizing is, it was just a few thousand. It was only a couple of hundred.
That's why I think
minimizing. Because if they would have caught up with one of those senators, bro, we would have seen the execution on TV.
Who caught up with senators? Look at what this episode's about.
Caught up with one of those senators,
right? I know what you're saying.
We would have seen an execution on TV,
and I understand what you're saying. Cool. We've already seen executions on TVs. What was this whole episode about, and who did it?
But I know, but that's not
allegedly.
Cool. But either way, it's not cool.
But what I'm saying is, we are out of control, my friend. We are out of control. So you saying
it's okay for people to say it's okay to get weak-minded people, strong-minded people, or any people to the point where they would
see what you're saying.
Cause harm on our democracy. That's not cool.
I'm sticking up for I'm not sticking up for what you're saying. I'm sticking up for your right to say it, man. Yeah. And there's a big fucking difference. And I'm not trying to say that nobody can fucking not speak their mind, because that is dangerous. Right. What is going to be more dangerous, man? The fact that you tell people you shut your mouth and don't say nothing, or you just let people fucking have freedom of speech.
You let people have freedom of speech.
That's my point.
People that with freedom of speech becomes a responsibility. And in that responsibility, you have to be responsible for what you're saying. And words, have power.
But that's why the court of law exists, and you deal with those people accordingly.
But we can't. Okay, so we tear up the whole democracy, and then all of a sudden, now we go to the court.
I don't understand.
You know what I'm saying? It's like. What if somebody had incited people to that point? Like with all this, talks of civil war and talks of, we're teetering around it. Why would we enrage people to do that? Like, why would we even on our show? Why would we get people to the point where they want to act out violently? That's not what we're trying to do,
bro. People have been doing that all our fucking life, and we're still here.
But that still doesn't give
that element has always existed.
It's gonna always exist, but that still don't give us a right and freedom of speech to promote it, to incite people. That's not.
And this came from the original question of tech. You guys realize this?
Yeah.
Right.
Censorship.
Right.
Okay. So if it comes of tech, and why do they push for it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because they think. Maybe. I don't know. Some part of me says that they want to be able to wave the flag and say they were there first, doing something big. Yeah. And then the other half of me is like, they kind of want the cash to roll in quicker, easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a slippery slope.
When you have people, when you have a mass population of people, and then you have these, it's like a relationship with your girl, is what I told O before this show. If you know your girl's lying about something, but you don't know what it is, then what the fuck are you even doing anyway? And Fox and CNN are starting to realize, shit, with all these podcasts that are popping up, these people are actually taking it in because they're fed up. Their level of frustration is through the roof right now, man. We got actual people starving in the street. We got the CARES Act. By the way, another fucking, was that, an act of violence? But that's insidious. But everything that's going on right now, it's people are fucking to their wits' end, and so they're educating themselves, and they're scared shitless because the things that they've gotten away with.
They have the right to speak that.
It's harder and harder to defend. Like when Jimmy Dore went on with AOC on Twitter, she got into something that she fucked up and didn't want to get into because she didn't have the answers for him in there, and then other people got in, and just Justin Jackson and all them guys.
But what I'm saying is, okay, that's cool. And
that was just for Med
but all that's still opinion. That's not based on no law in the Constitution.
No, when you're talking about, hey, why are you not getting a vote?
Censorship is against.
I'm talking about this one instance. If you're asking this woman, why are you not withholding your vote for Nancy for the floor to get a vote for Med for All? And her answer, she doesn't have an answer for you. That says something.
No, but that says that she's getting what she wants from Nancy.
Oh, did she?
Oh,
what do we got?
I don't know.
Exactly.
No, I'm saying I don't know what she got from her, but. When I'm saying
an offshore account,
I don't know.
Oh man, it's
that's
so.
opinion.
Look, I still have hope for democracy, and I still want my team to do what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. I just want to get back to fighting Republicans,
but when it,
and not Democrats.
It's not
my own team,
and it's not about fighting a side. And that's not cool.
We're divided.
I don't want to fight nobody.
There's actually 3 parties. We need a 4th party. There's 1 right and 2 left.
But I don't want to fight anybody. But going back to censorship and big tech will be dealt with at some point if they overstep their boundaries.
Yeah, but once you censor, it's hard to go back.
But bro, think about it. If they made that move, then they had legally they had to get cleared to make that move, right?
Right.
So then. Don't you know they already it's bigger than us on that level?
Right. Boy, are you for it or against it?
I'm against censorship.
Okay.
But I'm
just trying to understand.
I thought you were
the whole time sounds like the whole time sounds like you're. Oh my god.
That's what I try to tell the both of you.
I'm totally against censorship.
I
I'm just giving you the reason why it exists.
I just think by censoring it won't help shit, and it's just going to be more for the tribalism.
Yeah, because now you find people find more underground stuff.
Or you think that they just went to big tech and said, "Look, if shit goes sour, then we're going to start holding you legally responsible for shit." And then they were like, "Oh, okay, we're going to censor our shit."
Right?
Maybe they proposed. I don't know.
I don't know. Really I fucking have no idea. But the fact that you can't censor people and then have one person deciding who gets censored and who doesn't. That's my problem. No, it's like, who the fuck is that guy? But that, and you fuck it. It's done at that. It's a wash, man. I just want to hear from everybody. I want to hear from everybody.
Welcome to Russia, bitches.
I'm going to be hearing this a lot more on the street. Hey, man, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Right.
But what I'm saying,
hey, you can't say that.
But what I'm saying is,
I preach not to hate, but I don't say that you can't say what the fuck what is on your mind, man. I just say, hey, man, I just want to make it unpopular to hate. That's all. Yeah. I just want to make it not popular.
And that's what I think. But that's what I'm saying.
Love and fucking
going back
unity.
to free speech. Don't you think it's the responsibility of the person that's speaking
to?
Yes.
Yeah. So with that being said,
wait. To do what though?
This the responsibility of the person that's speaking.
There's so many variables
to understand that what you say matters. So then, when you're saying certain things and you're getting a certain reaction out of a crowd, then you should be responsible enough to understand. Okay,
but what if that's your end game? What if you're just a bad person?
Then that's why we should be able to find some kind of way to stop that before it turns into a civil war.
Nah,
then you should start.
So you say.
Then what's propaganda then, dude?
You can't do that.
They do it to us.
So you saying we should just? So I guess
I'm saying what I'm trying to say is that people are gonna follow people regardless,
right?
And if it goes down that path, we need to hold.
We have the biggest military ever. We end them. We squash them like a bug. No matter how big you get, you're not big at all.
But what about the innocent people?
Hold on.
Facts.
I'm trying
Go ahead. I'm sorry about that. My bad.
It's all good. What I'm saying is that it's wrong. Period. What sucks about it being wrong is that you can't cut someone off from being whatever they choose.
Right.
It's not a crime to be an asshole.
Right.
Correct.
I know, but
you can't censorship an asshole.
And it should be, but we can't do that.
But that's what you want. You're saying, hey, let's not.
No, I think it's more radical, is what he's worried about.
I'm talking about radical.
He's worried about
I know.
He's worried about baby Hitlers.
But
yeah, that's what makes it makes me shaky, afraid Because it's like
but that's our environment.
If somebody can get people to the point where they would.
Before we go to the next thing, I just want to say this. But that's my whole point, dude. I don't even fucking own a gun. How the fuck am I radical? They create this environment that makes me have to go get a gun to protect myself. That is more radical. And now you're telling these people to silence. Hey, we need to shut these people up because they're learning too fucking much now, and they're going to start informing each other. They're going to be smart.
It's a byproduct.
They're going to take our business. So capitalism.
So if they're saying racism is a byproduct of capitalism, do you think us being in the information age, censorship is a byproduct of getting all this information?
No,
I think but it's good and bad though. We've learned that about the internet a long time ago. Look, there's gonna be great things and there's gonna be terrible things.
Because you have so much, everybody has so much to their fingertips, and we all can go down our own individual rabbit holes.
Yeah, does it come?
So that
I'm cool with going back to horse buggies and carriages, dude, and bonfires and beers and smoking all day. And
rotary dial phones, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. I don't.
I'm not.
Kumbaya with y'all motherfuckers.
Nah.
Hey,
a hard pass on that one.
All right, guys, we got to get into some. Sorry about that.
I was thinking as time passes, right? With the internet comes, will there ever be a time that, like, I don't want to say like the higher ups, but like all that social media has an end, and it's like, hey,
yes,
man,
we're in an adolescent age. Well, I think.
What was that noise?
I think people are gonna become aware of how controlled they are eventually. Yeah. We're in an adolescent age. And I think 40 years into it or whatever, there's gonna be a lot of studies on the first 20 years of all this stuff, and it's gonna be mind blowing the amount of time people put into it and stuff. And that's how we learn things. But we can only learn things through each other, man.
But we have to go.
I just wanted to think because I know everybody's complaining about it. I just want to see when the creator takes responsibility.
You saw it today, dude. They're trying to silence bright minds, man. They're trying to silence. They've been doing it. They fucking done it, allegedly.
Right.
They're just doing it differently.
Bro.
Allegedly.
Everything.
Yeah, but I'm just,
Yeah, we gotta go on. All right.
Moving on.
Yes, like it or not. Oh, well, I want to say something first before we go to like it or not. Bold hot take. I got a huge hot take, and I know you guys are going to jump me on this, but I just feel it in my destiny. It's radical as fuck. It's 4 last teams, right? We got 4 teams. There's
Quattro.
Green Bay and Buffalo have no chance.
Have no chance.
They already lost.
Bro,
Wait, in what sense? That's just a very generic thing.
It's just bold. It's fucking out there. It's outlandish.
So you're saying no matter what happens this weekend, it's going to be Brady and Mahomes?
I think because it's destiny. This was I didn't see it till now, and I'm mad I didn't see it before. And Brady's actually going to win it all, man, and fucking walk off and at like beating fucking Aaron Rodgers,
the prophecy child,
beating who's the first, Mahomes and Breeze. Back to back to back. And then people are going to be talking about what's bigger, the 6 titles or the one in Tampa that he won at Tampa.
I just said
That's
I started
hardcore.
hating. I just said I hated Stephen A. Smith, and you brought it out. We just had this conversation.
Not even 10 minutes ago, yo.
I'm sorry. I had to do it.
That's a Stephen A. take, ain't it?
We were having a good conversation.
It's crazy, right?
We had a really great
That's bold. Is that bold or what?
That's bold.
I love you.
Bold and cold, baby. Bold and cold.
If you think that's bold, I'm changing the font. I don't like it.
All right.
What you got?
Mahomes cleared to play this weekend against the Bills for the AFC Championship. Like it or not?
Nah. I still think he's hurt. I don't like it. I think this is a money grab.
Okay, I don't think he's being like people are always saying. Oh, they're forcing him to play. Like earlier, we were talking about this, but he wants to play too, just as bad. I mean,
1,000%.
It's like it's not all being forced, but I don't think it's a good idea. No, because he could get seriously hurt for life.
But I do think, just like with everybody, I like it because for the game person. My side, selfish reason, because I'm a Chiefs fan, but I don't like it because he, like you say, he may get hurt.
Okay, so if you had to break it down, if he wins the Super Bowl, this is his last one, or you play the field, which is 10-year contract.
Yeah. And like you said, like you brought up the other day, was I didn't know of this, but his contract haven't really came in play yet.
Go get the millions.
Or he sits out and Henny wins takes them all the way.
Yeah.
And anything's possible.
They do it without Patrick Mahomes. Ooh, that's bold.
What about you?
I think.
What says you, sir?
I think Mahomes, dude. I said it the other week that I have never. I'm so excited to watch him every game that I want to see him play anytime. But it's up to Mahomes because only Mahomes knows how he's feeling. And if he feels like he's healthy, I mean, you know when you're healthy and when you're not. Like if you're dizzy,
that's bullshit, dog.
But when he ran out of that blue
if he's
tip,
dizzy,
bro,
don't play.
I think it was like just okay. They was probably like, okay.
I think
we're not gonna put
fast.
you back in the game.
Oh, yeah, he
probably told him this in the blue tip.
We got this.
It's called the concussion. Sir.
No, I'm saying though, but he always gets up fast after he gets hit. He pops up and he realized, oh shit, I'm not good.
Yeah.
But if he would have laid down, I think he could have stayed and played.
If he would have laid down, you don't lay down if you're not injured. Let me waste.
You gotta do a LeBron, bro. You gotta do a LeBron.
So what injury do he fake? He can't get his mind right.
Yeah.
But when he
guys play,
okay, I'm wrong.
You guys play. I'm gonna lay down.
Yeah.
But I do think it does have weight. That if he feels good, man, fucking roll the dice.
Yeah. I think when he ran out of that blue
Keep
tent,
the ball
he was
rolling.
playing.
What you got? Yeah.
That was the extreme of me.
It was actually radical.
That's my radical self.
Very radical.
I'm outside the pocket
Bro,
sometimes.
Please
I'm
calm yourself down.
I got to.
Bro, you have a few dingers of yourself.
Yeah.
I'll do better. Unbucking believable. Tom Brady does it again. See you in Tampa for the Super Bowl, like it or not.
I hope he does. That's who. I don't care who wins out of all 4 teams, and like I'm gonna watch it as a fan with no dog in the fight. I just would really like him to win because it would be an awesome story, and I would love to be a part of history.
I like it for 2 reasons. I like it because if this, like you said before, he'd been unbeat last week, and the Green Bay Packers, and they always making Aaron Rodgers and his lack of winning Super Bowls like, oh, he's a superior thrower, he's a superior athlete, but he didn't win. And in the game, I mean, in a game like
very,
that,
very good point.
Sounds like hate.
So it sounds like hate to me. So I like every time Tom can beat Aaron Rodgers, I like it. And I'm really not a big Tom fan, but I don't like when people try to take people, kind of etch at their greatness by saying, well, he's not greater than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't win like he did.
What do you think, Mike? Tom Brady taking it all?
Yeah, I like it. It'd be great. It'd be just a whole new level, new twist of Brady achievements.
Yeah, right.
To add to
it's
the
like another
list.
star or some shit.
Yeah.
I think that this is Aaron Rodgers' chance to show that he is on the same level of Brady.
Yeah, it's gonna be
and to take it to him and fucking own his ass because Brady's got to come into Lambeau and do the impossible.
What's the weather like?
This team is on fire, dude.
Wisconsin.
And Brady has a big fucking tall task. And for all the years he had to hear Brady's the GOAT. This is the time if you're Aaron Rodgers.
They said this is
to go in there and whoop his ass. And I don't like saying that because I'm a Bucs fan, but
this is the one time I
the truth.
believe that he had a home field advantage.
Correct.
That's wild.
It's a win-win.
That's true.
I mean, with that matchup, Brady versus Rodgers, I would like, for that reason too, I would like to see Rodgers win it all just to prove he's on the same level,
I'm sorry.
Right.
No, it's all good.
It would prove relevance again.
19 degrees.
19 degrees.
Brady could fuck with that.
Brady will cut through that shit.
Brady could fuck with that.
But
I feel bad for all them Florida boys.
Antonio Brown is not playing.
Yeah.
What?
Antonio Brown's been ruled out of that game, knee injury.
Oh damn!
He killed a guy allegedly.
You know what I think? You know what I think about that though? I think that Antonio Brown got pulled from that, and I think they're comfortable with that. Rest his knee in case we make the Super Bowl. But we have the most chemistry with Cameron Brate, Godwin, and get Evans involved because Evans kind of disappears when Antonio is playing.
Yeah, maybe a mental check.
And with them, we got a sure fucking thing. So we'll sit Antonio Brown out and we'll fucking go cut it up with them because they see him in practice, and when they got those guys out there, Brate's got hands, dude. Yeah. And then you got Gronk wandering around out there.
And if Fournette can run like Fournette can run,
you're right.
It makes it hard to beat the Bucs.
Do you think
it's all about the defense, though?
Do you think advertisements drool and seize up if Brady and Mahomes make it to the
Oh wow.
They bonering, right? That's why they wait. I'm talking about they dripping.
Wait
right
till
now.
you hear the CNN stories then. Fuck them. All right.
He once saved the bear from a rope. From an ongoing train. Brady's the greatest.
Did you know Biden?
All
right. Tampa Bay receiver Tyler Johnson made a third down catch against the Saints that didn't get enough love, like it or not.
Seems very.
Did you see that fucking catch?
Seems very Tampa
that catch
based.
was.
Like it or not.
That seems petty.
This is Tampa edition.
I'm sorry. It's a little Tampa-ish today.
It's not.
I'm excited.
But y'all beat this man team, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's fucking racist.
But that's why I want to ask the man if he thinks that he got
it can't be Tampa
He's
based.
gonna say, no, it didn't get enough love. Fuck that catch.
Only it might on it.
It is irrelevant.
Next one, what you got?
That's right. Like this is,
Hey, that was a hell of a catch.
Yeah, it was.
But it wasn't the game.
No, it was the game. It was a third and 14.
Okay, so
and the
let's-
motherfucker made that catch was amazing.
All right, so say you get
Thanks
that
for
catch.
doing your job.
Not only that.
Thanks for catching
That was a
the
little
ball.
Hold on. Just this is my point though. Okay,
Pull up that catch.
They're all magnificent. They are all magnificent. Is what I'm saying.
No. This is my point, Mike. You take away that catch. All right. Would you rather have that catch or the interception that was almost a pick six?
Yeah, true.
I think that set the tone. Like if you didn't get that, that's not you losing the game.
That's true.
That pick six, that
It would have been bad though. It might have been the end. Buffalo Bills pull off an amazing upset and knock off Kansas City Chiefs on their way to the Super Bowl. Like it or not,
I like it a lot. I see it happening. That's the buzzy.
Mike got perkies.
Mahomes is playing concussion Holmes.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
Concussion. Yeah.
I'm like real life. I'm a Chiefs fan, and I'm scared they playing them.
Why?
Because they're
They're
Josh Allen is
explosive.
not. You don't think he's that good, bro?
And they're playing with house money.
Not that. I think
That's gonna be a low scoring game.
The only thing
You think so? For those two
But
teams.
I've seen that I like is that Josh Allen isn't
Tampa,
scared.
Green
Yeah,
Bay's
that's
gonna
what
be
I
high.
mean. He's very don't care.
But I don't think they can stop.
He big and it's hard to bring him down.
I don't think they can stop Kansas City.
I think they're dangerous with Clemmy because they're playing with house money, and Kansas City has to win. And Kansas City, I mean, but they're Kansas City though, and then the whole Mahomes thing with the injury.
But the thing about Kansas City is this is what made me love Andy Reid now. On that play, everybody in America, every coach, everybody that ever did any kind of coaching, you call a timeout. When he walking back and forth and he looking at the defense and they looking like they bringing down the clock to that last, so they call timeout,
right,
and ice them,
right.
Then he just all of a sudden just
That's
run
playing
the play.
chess. That's playing chess, right?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
And that's what give me hope for Kansas City, but.
Dude, Kansas City, but Kansas City's still the favorite right now. Even though Green Bay should be the favorite, I mean, you can't take away from the people that just won.
Even with the concussion. Huh?
Yeah.
But you're about. I'm going to call it now. I'm going to call it now.
Okay.
Actually, I just said Brady's going to win it all. But I wouldn't be surprised if this happened.
If this motherfucker watching his back,
if this motherfucker
Brady in the back, man.
Brady got it. If Mahomes plays his
tell
ass
me
off, he got it. But if Josh Allen outduels Mahomes, then he got it. Because if Aaron Rodgers brings his MVP level, then he got it.
Yeah.
That's a mic.
So if
hot take.
So if Mahomes is Jordan-like, he will be able to pull this off.
Okay.
If he's Jordan-like, that's my take. So
It's
Not LeBron-like.
fine.
if what I said,
If he got in to go,
basically off. That's why I said that he's my most favorite to watch since Jordan, because like that he just does things like that. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he was down by what 21-0 to Houston.
Yeah.
Was it 21-0?
But do you think? I mean, even
in
with,
the fucking playoffs,
and with his concussion, do you think they go into the to their locker room and be like, "Hey, if we see anybody play this head game with this boy this week, we're gonna throw you out the game." Period. You think so?
I mean, they're gonna
No.
get
You think the referee? But if they didn't say that, you don't think the referees don't?
Oh, yeah, the
play
referees?
their game like the referees come.
Yeah,
You know, because the
they're
referees
ready.
come in and
They're
tell
gonna
you how
protect
they're
them,
going How they gonna ref before each
So
game
what you think?
on that level?
You think the referee's gonna jump in and get tackled instead of
No,
Mahomes
what I'm
getting
saying,
sacked?
what I'm saying is they're saying
slow motion.
Hey, you never know. That's a lot of money.
Not like this.
Don't hit him.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Mama.
They baby these quarterbacks so much these days. I wouldn't
Like,
be surprised
even
if
like,
at the coin
All right, so
toss
who's
they said,
going-
"Hey, you better tell your team
who's
no
going
funny
to the Super
business."
Bowl?
This guy.
Who's going?
Oh,
I just said without a doubt it's the Bucks and Chiefs, and there's not even a.
Mike, what you got? Not what you want.
Not what I want. I'm gonna say it's the Bucks and the Bills.
What you got?
I got to go with. Oh man, I think it's gonna be the Chiefs and the Packers.
Same. I want the Bucks.
I want the Bucks, but
Green Bay. I know it's cold. I know it's cold in Wisconsin, but Aaron Rodgers
You know what?
is hot.
Can I change mine?
yeah. And Adams is
I'm gonna say Packers and Bills.
That man Russell. That man. Packers and Bills.
Be the only one.
That's a low key. That's a low key
All the
great
way-
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
could be a low key greatest Super Bowl ever.
No,
it could be.
That's the 2020 season
I
wrapped
mean, what if
up.
it's
that was
Stephen A. Smith
That was totally
did that.
something.
Put a bow on it. That's
Yeah, put a
2020
bow on it.
season right
You
there.
guys-
Hey,
it could be the greatest Super Bowl ever.
I said low key.
No, but
Low
that's
key.
not a save, Stephen A. Fuck.
All right, we got to get going. Joe Exotic with a limo waiting outside prison fails to get Trump pardoned, like it or not. He's still out there.
Further confirms his fucking mental illness.
Did he? Who's Kodak Black?
I'm sorry.
I don't
Kodak
hear.
Black is a rapper, yo.
Who's
From,
Kodak
down
Black?
south. He from my like.
I thought.
Sucks.
Where's
Palm Beach
Trump?
area.
Trump. Trump.
Hey,
Don't
bro, leave. Hey, man, Joe.
I thought that was hilarious.
Hey, but that limo was hitting though. I'm like, how Joe got that kind of money?
Joe got money. those Tigers make money, dude.
Man.
Yeah, man.
But Joe got
I thought
some
that
new
was.
bitches.
I thought it was special. I thought that was
Joe
special.
got some new chicks in there.
All right, Jay-Z launches $10 million fund for minority-owned cannabis startups. Like it or not,
Yeah.
that's
Everything he touches is gold.
That-
son.
Yeah, that's what it makes.
you know.
sense.
There was
not
a
everything, but
there was a while.
I know.
he
That's
invests
giving back.
in-
Yeah.
There was a while where he slacked on the donating,
Uh-huh.
and now he's picking it up. So I say to everybody, good job,
Yeah.
great job,
He's
Kudos.
great job, man.
I believe him, Joe.
I
Yeah,
like that.
man. And I had some other ones about copper pennies and shit. It was pretty interesting. A penny worth 282,000 could be in your change jar.
Get the fuck out of here.
What?
Yeah, it's a 1940.
Who the fuck values that penny, dog?
Yeah, show me who wants that.
1943 copper penny is a highly sought after coin. In 2017, one sold for $282,000.
I don't give a
Why?
fuck. Because so you know what? I value this pen at $1 zillion.
No. There's a reason. There's a reason.
That's it. Why? Was it in fucking Abraham Lincoln's asshole?
It was exactly in Abraham Lincoln's asshole. How'd you know? Holy shit!
Son of a
Oh, it's a
bitch.
fucking. That's it. Ostradamus.
Mic
Solve the
drop.
case.
It's Ostradamus.
drop.
Listen.
Link-
Oh
Listen.
my God, 1943.
Lincoln shit out of Lincoln.
It was World War II, and copper was badly needed for ammunition and equipment. So they stopped making pennies out of copper, and they used steel coated in zinc instead. 40 copper pennies were made before the switchover. So they're fucking out there, all except for a few. They said.
But who gives a fuck?
If
not
I got
you,
one-
not you in your report.
Rich ass
I'm
coin
saying,
collectors.
I'd go give him 10 grand.
I'm saying, who is valuing that pen? Like, is that penny gonna get you like that penny? Not like the value of it. Is that penny gonna fucking buy you a car? Is that penny gonna be able to get
It
you?
will as soon as you sell it to
in
him. Dumbass that wants it.
No, in value, yes. But who the fuck values that fucking penny? dog?
Dude, somebody bought one.
Because they're dumb as fuck.
I want it.
Just
Joe
'cause you
Exotic
buy
bought it.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah,
Joe
exactly.
Exotic. Yeah, Joe
Just because
That
you buy
would
a
be-
fucking penny
Yo,
that much, that doesn't mean you're just
Yo,
crazy
he's right though.
fucking
Could you imagine your husband coming home and then you're just sitting on the couch and be like, and you don't even have that much money, and he's like, "Hey, I spent $282,000 today, honey. On what? This." You put a penny on
No, you don't put a penny, you spin it.
You're literally trading
It's
$282,000 for a penny.
Like what?
You're trading currency for currency. The biggest to the worst.
That's just not a smart.
That is pretty
idea.
fucking stupid. But I mean,
But somebody,
I hope I find one.
and that value is.
I bet people would be searching for a 1943
For all
fucking
the
penny.
listeners, I have $1 million Sharpie in front of me. It hasn't been touched. And let me tell you what.
Mint
condition.
Yes.
Hold on, one more. New
value.
study finds eating and drinking in moderation won't save you. So why not live every day like it's your last, like it or not?
If that's real, I like it because
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that and eat in moderation anyway. I do like healthy shit, but I mean, moderation, if that doesn't help, well, fuck.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Well, fuck.
Well, fuck. Yeah, fuck my efforts too, man.
I like it because it put everybody in the same boat with me. So
You're a little asshole.
Come me and me.
You know, you need to step your character up, sir.
I'm just messing.
You need to step your character
Come me and I
up.
would be like, yeah, this is moderation done. Fuck 25 wings.
Moderation is relative.
It's like, I want y'all bitches to be hopeless like me, motherfuckers.
I was just making a fat joke about myself.
That's me.
I'm only drinking.
I feel attacked. That was violent.
I don't believe it's true.
You heard
That was more violent than anything MLK did.
Mike, we drink in moderations, but it's like a 1.5 liter.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, now I'm going to drink this wine.
Once
it's
a year.
One glass, 1.5.
Yeah.
Smacked out of your ass.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just drinking like soda in moderation versus alcohol. Because I know alcohol has impact on your heart. I know that.
Everything,
for sure.
dude. Your heart, your liver, your
Impact on your
pancreas.
heart.
Yeah. So anyway, hero of the day: JFK, MLK, Malcolm, Bobby, and Fred. All of them.
MLK, JFK, all day.
And Hank
All
Aaron.
day.
Yeah,
And
don't
shout
forget about
out,
Hammer.
shout out. Mike told me today because I honestly wasn't fucking aware, dude. He goes, you didn't know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like,
What?
we got to say a word for Hank Aaron. So, yeah, man.
Yesterday. passed away.
All-time leader.
What is it? Late yesterday?
I don't think it was late yesterday. No.
Well, then
I
thoughts
think,
and prayers to, what's it, the is it another king, right, that passed? Who's the CNN dude?
Oh, Larry King.
Larry
King
Oh,
died
wow.
today.
Larry King died?
87.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
We're on Kings.
Yeah.
Wow, man. That's how the irony there, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anybody got anything to say? We got here.
Be safe. Love y'all.
Love it. Love somebody
someone.
new.
Yeah, love someone.
Love somebody and
somebody.
and try to reel them in, man. With just reel them in. Listen more than you're trying to put out, man. Just, and that's hard to do. But, instead of just going and turning on a radio and listening to a song and feeling your own way, go listen to somebody's problems. That's what I would say. So instead of checking out, check in with somebody.
Yeah, lean in more.
And love somebody like Clemmy said.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Thank y'all for tuning in. If you can be nice, keep it moving in.
Be a part of the Pride from the People's Network. Please subscribe.